News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Well, you know what I was thinking over the weekend? I was thinking, how many more videos are going to come out of Kamala publicly supporting, rallying, and chanting and demanding her super leftist views that we have not seen yet? Because the word's only been out for, 62 days is a long time, but not long enough. So they're still doing Oppo research and digging, and I literally this weekend was thinking there's got to be so much more that hopefully can come out. That's not a way to have a strategy, but something that she's bound to get more and more bad stuff coming out that eventually she won't be able to hide. Now, the media is doing everything it can to hide it and such. But this brand new video, well, it's not brand new, but and Kamala knows it. She did it when she was the head. She was the the Grand Marshal of the MLK Jr. Parade. As a California, United States Senator from California, she was picked to be the most important person there, the lady leading the rally, the person of honor there. And people were chanting for illegals. And Kamala joined in. She was clapping, smiling, and chanting with them. I'm going to play that right now on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. By the way, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. So let me play for you that great little tune here. Here she is. It's on my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKRK. By the way, Juicy Smollett, Juicy, was with her, right next to her, in this rally. You know, the guy who lied and said this is MAGA country and paid the Osundario brothers to beat him up in Chicago and made up that fanciful, ridiculous story that he was beaten up by MAGA supporters on the streets of Chicago at 0 degrees outside at like 3 in the morning. Here she is with Juicy next to her. Maybe. She's leading the chant. She's pointing up, down, down. She's mouthing it, going in circles, dancing. Down, down with deportation. This is who she is. She's a far leftist. She is dancing and chanting and just going nuts on this. She loves it. Her husband's smiling. They're nodding. You're not supposed to see this. It's just another one of the many things we see as she has destroyed this country and had it invaded with up to 20,000 illegals that she wants. And she mocks Trump, saying that, can you imagine what that would look like if deporting these millions of people that I brought in with Joe? I played that for you last week. But now this is coming out, and this is from the Daily Mail. At the time she was a U.S. Senator of California, she joined a group of protesters for a 2018 L.A. parade chanting down, down with deportation. They chant her name, too, a lot in this, too. I'll jump in towards the end here. Here, hold on. Kamala, there you go. They're cheering for her, and she's leading them in down with deportation. Well, this is who she is, and they just don't want you to know about it. Her campaign members, when they're hit with all these things, just deny it. Here is Axios, the left-leading publication. Harris' mom on supporting new Dreamer protections. She is now reportedly backing away from her past promise to use presidential power to give 2 million, quote-unquote, Dreamers citizenship, and as a chain immigration gives 6 million more illegals, the parents of the illegal Dreamers who were born here. They're anchor babies. That's all they are. Anchor babies. and dreamers as well. That they want to give 6 million people that are the parents of anchor babies and these so-called dreamers. So 8 million people she wants to give. That's not including the 20 million, 14 to 20 million she's flooded us in the past 3.5 years. This is a freaking invasion and a takeover of our U.S. sovereignty. There are no borders under this woman. So she won't answer. She won't respond. I'm going to give you some more details on all this, but how much more bad footage of Kamala championing her far left beliefs is going to come out, do you think? How much more bad footage of Kamala championing her far left beliefs is going to come out? Remember what she said in one of her very few interviews she has done in 62 days of declaring her candidacy, that my values haven't changed, and I believe her, and that's accurate. This is who she is. And do you think seeing stuff like this, with this woman celebrating ending deportations, no more deportations, smiling and leading crowds in this, do you think that this kind of stuff's going to end up being bad enough to cost her the election? Because, okay, some of my colleagues are immediately shaking their head, no, it's not enough. But here's the thing. If anybody is paying just a modicum of attention towards this, they have to understand that she totally reversed everything in the past 4 years for no reason other than she's running and won't explain herself. I don't know if you heard, too, I'm sure you did, that Trump said no to doing the CNN debate. He's like, I already did one with her on CNN, one on CNN, and no, I'm done. It's going to be too close. He would do a Fox, is what the indications seem to be, but she will not even respond to Fox. She will not do any interviews with them, repeated requests, nothing, and she will not show up there to do a debate. I think Trump's right. I think she needs him more than he does. He needs her in this, because everybody knows who he is, love him or hate him. All right, so how much more bad footage of Kamala championing her far-left beliefs do you think is going to come out over the next month and a half before the election day? And do you think it's bad enough to cost her the actual election? And lastly, why do you think she supposedly changed her position on illegal immigration, a radical transformation? And how do you think a President Harris would handle illegals? You know, I played you that soundbite where she says, our number, by the way, is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now, 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. So it is the wait and hide game. It is the slow roll and hide and no responses, very few interviews. I don't know if you caught this too. 60 Minutes now says they're going to do an interview of Kamala, and Trump is reportedly going to say yes to it too, as of right now. That's what they did on the last election. 60 Minutes had Biden and Trump, and they both had interviews. But look at this. I want to share some of the illegal immigration destruction of our country that Kamala has done. Here's from Breitbart. U.S. homeless population growing as illegal migrants flood major cities. Wall Street Journal says people living in encampments on the streets and shelters has grown since 2023. Final count depends on areas from which they have not shared this year's numbers. New York City says they have the highest number of homeless in 2023. About 550 homeless people up so far this year, so far up 10% from the last year. We're likely to top the roughly 653,000 homeless people from last year, highest number since we started keeping data. And then this, Biden-Harris administration warns Americans do not travel in Haiti due to risk of kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder. Biden-Harris administration, again, I'm going to read it again, warning Americans don't go to Haiti due to risk of kidnapping, sexual assaults, and murder. We'll bring Haiti here. Don't go to Haiti. We're bringing Haiti here. Did you see the two Haitian illegals that Joe and Kamala flew over the border? They're not even being interdicted at the border because Joe and Kamala are flying them direct, and those numbers aren't counted in the numbers that they say, well, look, there's not too many illegals. There's a lot less coming over. You're flying 30,000 a month in some cases over. And two of them from Haiti one raped a developmentally disabled woman, and another one raped a child, according to authorities. And now three Salvadoran illegals, three separate Salvadoran illegals that Joe and Kamala brought in, have raped three separate children on Nantucket Island. 3 rapes from 3 pedophiles from Joe and Kamala just on Nantucket Island alone. It's amazing, isn't it? It's sickening what they have done to us. Okay, 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this because Kamala says no. How's he going to do it? You know how bad that'll look if you see 15 million people being deported. Well, a majority of Americans now support mass deportation of illegals. I'll give you the statistics on that coming up next. And some wild stuff about Tren de Agua, the gang that Joe and Kamala brought in, introduced to this country 2 years ago because of their illegal flood, the flood of illegals. And do you remember those 100 people that stormed our border at Texas, the illegals? Do you know how many of them were Tren de Agua? We know now. I will tell you all about that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. We'll talk to Mario in Fort Worth right out of the box next in 2 minutes. Plus your call. 4 lines open, 800-288-WBAP on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Here is Kamala saying, impugning the Trump deportation plans.
And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be.
Well, actually, a lot of people want that. 54% of respondents in a Scripps Ipsos poll just a week or so ago said they strongly or somewhat support the policy of deporting all the illegals Kamala and Joe brought over. These freaking people are going to destroy this country. They are remaking our country overnight for people who don't know us, don't care about us, and have come here with no merit to come here. And she will do more of this if she's elected. 800-288-WBAP. How much more bad footage of Kamala? I played you the footage of her chanting up with education, down with deportation. Even though now she says, I'm against it. Illegal to import illegals. Yeah, no, we don't welcome any of them. No, what are you talking about? I'll play for you Jimmy Fallon and her singing together in a bit about banning fracking. But now she says she doesn't want to ban fracking. How much more bad footage of Kamala championing her far-left policies is going to come out, do you think? This one about chanting with the illegals, for illegals, just came out today. And do you think it's bad enough to cost her the election? Not this one, but all of them combined, the more and more you see this stuff. And why do you think she supposedly changed her position on illegal immigration and all these other things? How do you think a President Harris would handle illegals? The same way she's done for 4 years. Mario, Fort Worth, WBAP.
Hey, Chris. Hey, I was going to say simply, I don't think that she's actually going to win the election, to be honest with you. I really don't feel it. I mean, everything you've seen going that she's done. I don't know if you saw the video of her not too long ago. She had a speech and she was talking and she was slurring her words. She looked like she was intoxicated.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, I saw it on I think it was on TikTok or a video or someplace I saw it, but she was really slurring her words really bad, and she was going on about Trump and this and that, but she never looked at the audience. She kept looking right, left, every which way. But I was telling your screen caller that, a friend of mine, he told me, he said, something about Granddad gave him a great message one time. He said, son, you can fix a lot of things in life, but you can't fix stupid. So,
now, do you think she's actually stupid, or do you just think she's vapid? I don't think she's stupid. I think she's vapid. I think she's afraid. Did you hear about that Al Michaels dinner that Trump just went to, or whether he went to last year? He's going to it. I think he did. Did he go to it already? I don't think so. But it's a huge thing. No president has ever turned it down in like 30 or 40 years or something. She turned it down. He's going. Hillary and Trump were right by it next to each other the whole time. You rip on each other is part of the whole thing. It's for fun and for charity.
We heard that she hosted some kind of dinner for all these great big CEOs of the United States. She's trying to get the corporate vote, and I don't know what happened with that. All I know is they said that some showed up and some didn't show up. So I mean, she's doing everything she can to try to win. I tell you what, there are a lot of stupid people in the world that are very, very intelligent. But, you cannot beat common sense. I don't care what no one says.
Yeah.
Common sense will judge everything when it's all said and done.
I appreciate your call, Mario.
Trump, 2024, man, I think he's the guy, and I know he is, and we're gonna vote for him. And also, I'm a Teamster. I don't care what Sean O'Brien, all them say.
Yeah, you are a Teamster, huh?
Yes, sir. The majority of Teamsters are backing Trump.
Yes, 61% of one poll, and it was 61% in one poll. I think the other one is either 58 or 64%. Two separate polls. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, I mean, hey, it's Trump's going to win this. I know he is.
I hope you're right.
I have faith.
I appreciate your call.
Great.
Oops. Take care, brother. If I'm looking at this here. Many more things. Our number, by the way, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. About changing all these policies. She says she's a gun owner, and if anybody breaks into my house, she's going to get shot. A 2008 brief she signed argued a total handgun ban was constitutional. She strongly suggested in her brief the Second Amendment does not secure an individual right. So she's flip-flopped on that. Here she is on fracking, totally flip-flopping as well. You're going to love this.
That's why I am committed to passing a Green New Deal, creating clean jobs, and finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
Kamala just don't give a frack.
So why is she saying she doesn't? Why is she against it now? She was singing it gleefully on Jimmy Kimmel's, whatever his name is, show. I mean, this is all a naked lie. So it's amazing. And even people on the left and in the press are now starting to say, you know what? She needs to be able to answer questions. And she does not want to answer questions. She does not want you to ask why. This is going to be incredible if she actually wins. It's going to be scary, but it's going to be incredible to see how many people who don't really know what she stands for, other than what we know, which is the far left stuff, vote for her and think that somehow she's going to do what that they want her to do. That's what it is. It's like, if you vote for me, I will be what you need to be for you. Like, I'll be whatever you want. Well, there's a lot of us. So now the 100 people, if you recall, that stormed the border, speaking of these illegals, 100 people that stormed the border and attacked our guardsmen at our National Guard, our Texas National Guard, their TDA, their Tren de Aragua, Governor Abbott was saying recently. And so this woman has unleashed, and Joe Biden, have unleashed hell on our country. And we ain't even seen nothing yet. My friend who helped craft this policy designated Tren de Aragua as a terrorist organization and a tier 1 level gang, which is the top kind of thing you can do for synergy, all of the state to work together with the state, local, and county. Jason Jones, Newsmax border correspondent, former DPS captain in charge of the border operations, he said that it's reasonable to expect that out of the millions of illegals Joe and Kamala have brought in here, tens of thousands of them are Tren de Aragua. Tens of thousands are the most violent gang this side of the hemisphere that I'm aware of. Tens of thousands are here. And we ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to get much, much worse. Okay, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. This is fun. Kamala gets endorsed by who? You just heard a Teamsters say that they love Trump, and the Teamsters should have endorsed Trump, but they didn't endorse anybody, which is extremely unusual for them, 40 years. Now, Kamala gets an endorsement, but this one is one that she should be embarrassed of, and I'll bet she doesn't want this coming out, but they trumpeted it yesterday. I can't wait to tell you this one versus what Trump's gotten endorsements by. All that is next on the Chris Crock Show and News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288 WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. (800-288-WBAP) is our number. 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Oh, I love this one. Did you guys hear what union endorsed Kamala yesterday? They were trumpeting it everywhere. I'm being serious. You're not going to believe, though, this is the last endorsement I would ever want if I was her. Have you heard about this major announcement? And I'm being serious. You're going to love this. The IRS has a union. I'm not kidding you! The IRS union endorsed Kamala! Yes! That's who's with Trump. The government IRS entity that comes and takes your money in your house at the end of a barrel of a gun at the end of the day, because the government can do that. They endorse Kamala, the Teamsters, who are getting my luggage every time I go to Chicago, and get my coffee at the Starbucks at the nice hotel over by there. Those are Teamsters. So the people that make coffee for me and you, the people that carry our luggage at a 4-star hotel, are going with Trump, and the people who take your tax dollars and investigate you and can shut you down and can put you in jail are endorsing Kamala. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Holy gosh, that's unbelievable. The National Treasury Employees Union praises Kamala for increasing their budget. You could not write a worse script for this woman. Oh, yeah. When we're not getting your tax dollars and destroying your lives, we're voting for Kamala. We came up for air. We took a breath to vote for Kamala, and then we're going to go back to destroying your lives. You should vote for her, too, like we do. Great. I'll go dance at my own funeral, right? Dance at my own grave with you guys as I vote for Kamala. Isn't that amazing? What does that tell you? That the IRS union endorses Kamala and the Teamsters union endorses Trump. Isn't that amazing? That's the profound shift change in politics over the past several years under Trump. The working people are backing Trump at higher numbers than ever, and the Democrats are being backed by the people who are the state, if you will, and the billionaires and the oligarchs. You do know that's who installed Kamala. Kamala was installed by Nancy Pelosi, by tech billionaires and business billionaires and moguls, and by the Democrat Party. Trump was not installed by them. They hate him, and everybody knows that. And on top of that, I have some more bad news for poor Kamala. You remember the debate and all the time when she gives her speeches, she crows that Goldman Sachs and Moody's say her policy, and 16 Nobel laureates say that her policy for economic policy is great and it's going to help this country. Nope. Penn Wharton School of Government, which is where Trump went, the business school at University of Pennsylvania, Penn State, and they all came out and said, no, here, this is what the CEO of Goldman Sachs says. He actually said Trump's is better. And that, I'll read the quote. It's terrible for her. Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania told Newsweek, I guess it's not Penn State, University of Pennsylvania. I don't know. I've never been in that state. It told Newsweek over the weekend, Harris' economic plan did not find a positive impact on the economy. I quote, the school that she brings up, the School of Business, Wharton School of Business from Penn, Harris' economic plan did not find a positive impact on the economy from her plan in any future year. So she's lying. On Thursday it was, Harris claimed during a Unite for America worship fest of her and worshiping her and what's her name, Oprah, or Popra as I call her. Anyway, she said, this is why Goldman Sachs, this is why Moody's, this is why the Wharton School of Business, why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined that after analyzing our plans, mine would strike the economy, his would weaken it. Going on here, continuing on with the head of the Wharton School of Business, he said, we did not find a positive impact on the economy from her plan in any future year. No positive impact. The Trump plan does increase GDP, gross domestic product, for a few years, but lowers by the end of the 10-year budget. So 10-year budget window. So his does increase GDP, which means helps the economy and grows us. Hers doesn't do any of that. And when she's crowing about how good her plan is, she, as this story says in Newsmax today, Harris on Thursday repeated the claim that Goldman Sachs supported her economic plan, despite the CEO of one of the investment banks that's quoted here of Goldman Sachs pushing back on that claim the next day. So that report, which was mentioned last night in the debate, came from an independent analyst. The CEO of Goldman Sachs says the difference between the two plans is about 0.2%. 0.2%. So his does help the economy in the first years. Hers doesn't at all anywhere. And that the only difference between his and hers is 0.2%. So that's it right there. So she can't even tell the truth about her plans, about who likes what and everything. So he's got to come out and rebuke her. Isn't that funny? I love that. Okay, so what do these totally different unions' endorsements say to you? Trump gets the Teamsters and Kamala gets it's unbelievable, the IRS union. I can't believe it to say that. What do these totally different unions' endorsements say to you? And how do you read into this when you see that? And which one would you want if you were running for president? And why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I wouldn't, even if I got the IRS one, I would be like, dude, please don't say anything. Don't put it on social media. Don't do anything. Hey, congratulations. Oh, whoa. It's like someone chasing after you trying to give you herpes or something. I mean, what? No. Oh my gosh, it's a poison pill. That so is emblematic for policies, though. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in right now. Line's wide open. We got several minutes to take your call. 800-288-9227. I want to give you some more updates on our economy under Kamala that she has been praising and praising and praising. Now, this is from a guy that we follow each other on Twitter. Greg Price says, if the IRS, FBI, there's like a group of former intelligence people, current intelligence people, FBI, all these kind of things. So he says that they're all endorsing Kamala. If the IRS, the FBI, Wall Street, Iran, Putin, and the military-industrial complex, and the New York Times, and 100 former McCain interns and Dick Cheney all want one candidate to win, then for the love of God, vote for the other one. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, my gosh, it's a kiss of death over here. Now, let's give you some more policies. Actually, I'll do it when we come back. I've got some stunning details on what Kamala and Joe have done to this economy and how this will be a continuation of what we've had for the past 4 years. So if you want more of what we've had for the past 4 years, then you should vote for Kamala, because that's what you're going to get. And that's why she won't give you details. That's coming up next. Plus your call at 800-288-WBAP. And then I cannot wait to get into the huge story of the day as well. The suspect in the second assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump penned a letter. And he's also putting out a bounty on Trump's head. And now comes the FBI to show everybody the letters so that everybody can be aware that you can get a certain amount of money if you kill our president. Isn't that disgusting? Oh, I can't wait to compare this to. Do you remember a manifesto that wasn't shared with us recently versus this one that was just shared with us on the same day? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember that one, the Tranifesto? Remember that? Yeah, the Tranifesto, and you weren't allowed to. No. Well, that's because she's a leftist, and she wanted to kill Christians. So you don't need to know about that. This one? Oh, yeah, you got to hear about this. That's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. 800-288-WBAP is our number. News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. So Kamala gets schooled by the Penn School, Wharton's School of Business at University of Pennsylvania, where Trump went, who actually says, Kamala, no, stop saying that we reviewed your policies for economic policies and that it helps our economy. It does not. There is no increase of production under your economy plan, but there is production in the GDP increase over the first couple of years or so of his plan for Trump. And the difference between yours and his is 0.2% better. His is 0.2% better as far as what it does for this economy. So you're wrong. His is better, and we never endorsed your plan. I guess somebody might want to tell her that, but maybe she doesn't know that. Maybe she was just told to say that, and since she doesn't have any interviews that ask her follow-up questions or hold her accountable, only the ones she wants, she handpicks, then she can get away with it, supposedly, right? It's amazing. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What do these totally different unions? One, Trump was endorsed by the Teamsters, and yesterday Kamala was endorsed by the IRS union. IRS! The IRS loves me. People were speculating today on Fox that the reason why she's not going to the Al Smith dinner in New York, which is every presidential candidate has gone to that for, I think, 40 years or something. She's the first one to not go. I think that it's a whole laugh fest and people rip on each other, him and her and her on him. You know, like Hillary did it and had a great time. He ripped the crap out of her on one of his things and she was laughing. Not Kamala. She had to have a rehearsal for a state dinner. She was so afraid of a state dinner that she had all of her staff act out and plan out a state dinner where she could act like she was there before she went to it. I mean, this woman has issues. I don't know if that's what it was or if she doesn't. She also, I was heard that they were speculating on Fox that maybe she didn't want you to hear her laugh for like an hour. I don't know. Okay, so what do these totally different unions, endorsements to Trump and Kamala say to you? One Teamsters, one IRS union. How do you read into it? And which one would you want if you were running for president, and why? Well, I would certainly want the Teamsters because that's salt of the earth, hardworking, blue-collar people, middle-class folks, and I would not want the IRS employees because that means the people that are, unfortunately going after people. I thank goodness you have my sponsor, Randy Martin, and my CPA, Randy Martin from IRSprob.com that you can go to. And by the way, I was on the phone with him Friday for a while. We had a wonderful conversation. We're good friends, and most of it was about our friendship and stuff, things that we're having in our lives. But another part of this was what he did for me, by the way, is he asked me a few questions when I gave my tax return stuff this year. And he's like, well, do you have this? Did you do that? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, submit that to me. And it went, and it's all even better now. Yay. So I got to thank him for that. But anyways, we're going to have him on later about the Kamala tax policy because it's bad. But I would so much rather want the Teamsters, and I would never want the IRS employees who are praising me because I helped vote in a $87 million raise increase or whatever. It was $87 billion. I can't remember. Who's counting anymore? Look at inflation under Kamala and Joe. Food, more than 20% increase since they took office. Housing, 23% increase. Gas and energy, 50%. Auto insurance, 55%. And then this from the Wall Street Journal. They literally, this is from the United States government, U.S. Census data just came in. And real median earnings for full-time workers last year declined. We made 1.6% less last year because of Bidenomics and Kamalanomics, and even more for high school grads. If you're a high school grad, you made 3.3% less this past year because of inflation. It means inflation outpaced wage gains for the most low-wage workers, the ones that Kamala pretends to care about. It's not. The Trump tax reform and deregulation. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I've shared this with you. I cannot stop doing this. It's unbelievable. First 3 years of Trump versus the first 3 years of Biden and Harris. If you're Asian, you made $13,100 more under Trump than Biden and Harris in the first 3 years. If you're white, you made $8,160 more in the first 3 years of Trump versus Kamala and Joe. If you're Hispanic, you made $6,260 more in the first 3 years of Trump compared to Kamala Joe. And if you're black, you made about almost $2,000 less under Kamala Joe. You made more than $2,000 more under Trump and in those first 3 years. So, I mean, it's profound. And also the spending, the federal spending as a share of the gross domestic product went up 5.3% under Biden. And the Journal wrote, never has the government spent so much more money only to leave Americans poorer. That really is what they did to us. And that's what they will do to us for 4 more years. This woman's not in charge. Somebody else is, which is why she's afraid to just talk and go all over the place. And why no press conference for 62 days and counting? Pretty amazing. How's she going to have a press conference when she's the president? There's going to be a lot of weird stuff with her word salads and everything. Here's one more thing that Kamala and Joe's insane spending. You know, they doubled Trump's spending. Trump spent in 4 years half what they've spent so far in 3.5 years. They doubled what he spent, and they did in 6-8 months less time. It's unbelievable. And she's the tie-breaking vote on 3 of those multi-trillion-dollar deals. Stunning. All right, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Oh, I have a couple more seconds. I forgot to say one more thing. Interest payments on the national debt, because they're destroying our debt and our deficit and our economy, we are now spending 30% more just to pay for our debt as a country than we were last year. The U.S. government for the first time has spent more than $1 trillion, $1 trillion, this year on interest alone, $1 trillion of interest payments for its $35.3 trillion national debt. The net interest payments from our government have totaled $843 billion this past year. What does that mean? The budget for just paying interest for the deficit is higher than any government category of spending except Social Security and Medicare. Can you believe that? We're spending almost as much as Social Security and Medicare on just the interest. That's what spending does to you. It destroys you. Okay, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show at 3 minutes after 9, we want to get into the attempted assassin, the second one, the profound new stuff that we're learning about the failures of the Secret Service. But this guy, the letter he wrote, I'll read you the letter, at least excerpts of it, and it's going to be wild to talk about this guy and his manifesto letter that was released almost instantaneously, encouraging some perhaps to take out a hit on Trump because they're going to make $150,000. It's unbelievable. All that's next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227.